Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the session. So, I'm having a session with you guys on the CAT 22 Slot-1 paper. And before I start that, before I start discussing, and I'm trying to give you a logic behind what I feel will be the numbers this year for various percentiles that would be that would typically be asked or that would typically work out in the slot in the various slots of the cat. So before I start that part, let me just put down. I mean, there has to be some science behind it. I mean, a lot of you have been asking me about the analysis of cat and what are the numbers that I would predict for this year. And I mean, since I did not take the cat this year, I did not have an immediate view on the cat because unless I solve the paper, I don't actually get a feel. And I feel that a lot of people, when they predict the marks, with due respect to everybody around, uh, there's a lack of science in terms of how you do it. So there are a few logics that I typically work on when I look at a test paper and how difficult it is, how easy it is. The first logic has to be I have to go through a solving experience. Without a solving experience, if I don't do a solving experience of the paper, I find it difficult to understand or to judge how easy or how difficult it is. And this solving experience that I do, I map it against the previous year paper, uh, the previous year question paper, and then based on the difficulty of a section, whether the difficulty has gone up, has remained the same, or come down, we can judge. We can try to guess what would happen to 2 lakh people when they were giving this exam. So that's the idea. So before I go ahead with my sectional analysis of the 3 sections of the slot 1 paper, and I will do a deeper analysis with respect to previous questions also, with respect to the CAT 21 paper also. First, let me just put down a few numbers for you, and this basically involves the CAT 21 numbers section wise. What are the numbers that typically get you to the different values. So if I go to VRC, for example, I've got with me a sheet of paper in which I've mapped various scores at various percentiles. So the CAT 21 VRC and once we have a number for once we have a list of numbers at various percentiles, we can then judge the CAT 21 paper against the CAT 22 paper and try to see whether it's the cutoff is, or the percentiles are likely to go up or down at the same marks. So if I put a score of around 29 marks in the VRC section, this is marks not attempts, marks basically, it ended up with approximately a 90 to 91 percentile last year. This was the percentile at 29 marks. Then at approximately, if I'm looking for a 95 percentile, 35 marks last year in 21 CAT, 35 marks was a 95 percentile. Approximately 95 percentile, maybe 34, 35, around this range. Because I've got a number here which tells me 95.61 at 35.14. So 35.14 marks per 95.61 percentile. So we can put 95 percentile at around 34, 35 marks. At 36.39 marks, I have a figure of 96.16 percentile. Right, the 26 marks per, you have approximately 86, 87 percentile. So this is the band of scores that is building up for last year's paper. 46 marks per, you have approximately a 99, 45, 46 marks पे, you have a 99 percentile in VRC. So this is the VRC breakup or the spectrum going from 86, and in fact 20 marks पे, you have approximately 75 percentile. So this is the 75 percentile. This is the spread. This is the spread between 75 percentile to 99 percentile from 20 marks in the VRC section to 46 marks in the VRC section. So I'll take your questions a little bit later. Let me finish off, and I'm going to be live with you guys. We're going to be live every evening. It's going to be a big challenge for me to do it, but we're going to be live every evening, typically between 5 to 6 p.m. And we'll be announcing the everyday live sessions on the channel as we keep going on a daily basis. So that's something we are doing for the channel for subscribers, and also other CAT aspirants and other exam aspirants. Maybe I'll do a lot of problem solving in my sessions here. I can solve the CAT papers for you. I can solve ZAT papers, IFT papers, etc., and also banking and IP math and other papers. So let's try to look at the same spread for DILR. So DILR के spread में around 19.36 marks पे 89 percentile है. So why I'm doing this is because I'm like looking at what the numbers are. I'm giving you the exact numbers, no guesstimating. 19.36 marks पे 89.06 percentile है CAT 21 में, and 8.8 marks पे 60 percentile है approximately. 8.9 marks पे 60 percentile है. 13 marks पे 75 percentile है. Maybe around 13.5 marks पे you had a 75 percentile. And then what you want to know, I have a data point of 92 percentile. That's at 22.83 marks. This is a data point of 92 percentile, 92.92 percentile actually. 92.9 percentile is at 22.83. So you can judge that your 90 percentile score will happen at around 20 marks in DILR. This is the CAT 21 numbers. And now we need to look at whether CAT 22 was more difficult or less, and accordingly we can either adjust these percentile upwards or downwards depending on the paper difficulty. So if the paper difficulty is higher, then 29 marks will give you closer to 95 percentile. Then it will give you to 90 percentile. So there has to be a science behind this. I mean, I can just, I mean, if I looked at a lot of the videos of people who were estimating or guesstimating their percentiles, and I think in the rush to do things quick, for आज तक सबसे तेज वाला लॉजिक पे लोग करते क्या है कि they put this thing on the back burner, logic on the back burner, and they just come up with some numbers. Some people famously said that the paper was very easy and halwa tha and all those things, which I don't believe in at all. 23.35 marks to 94 percentile. The paper was actually tougher than last year, except quants. I can accept if somebody says that the quants were similar to last year. But DILR and verbal both were much tougher than last year, as I'll show you. I'll give you proof for that. And for that proof, in this session, I'm going to map the CAT 22 paper, slot 1. Slot 1, and I will map it against the slot 1 paper of CAT 21. So this is the next number, 31.86 पे 98.66 आ रहा है, 36.79 पे 36.78 पे 90, 98.66 percentile. And do I have a number above that? On these are numbers of different students of mine actually. 36. Sorry, 36.78 by 99.52. Which means you're in the top 1,000 people when you got 36.78. So I have not heard this news. This news from Unmanned. One DILR question each from slot 2, slot 3 removed due to ambiguity. So we will just look at that as we maybe I'll do a session on slot 2, slot 3 in the next couple of days. अभी मैंने slot 2, slot 3 किया नहीं है. Discuss. Yeah, मैंने खुद solve नहीं किया है. So I believe in doing things a little bit with a little bit of time, because then you do it once and then you do it right. So QA the numbers last year. Quantitative aptitude में numbers जो थे वो let's put some numbers. 41.19 पे 99.97, 99.57, then 23.63 पे 95 percentile approximately. And do I have a number above this or somewhere in between? 51.29. This was my score actually. 51.29. Of course, I didn't give CAT this year, but last year 59.19 पे 29 पे I had 99.94 in quads, and some numbers in between. 30.31 पे there's a 97.85 percentile. So this Unmanned का जो news है, I cannot confirm that whether it's getting actually removed or not. So I will. I need to know this from other sources before I can react to this. And it's surprising. Quants with 20 marks, we were 92.41 percentile. That means you had just to solve 7 questions last year in CAT 21 to get to 92 percentile in quants. And 17.9 marks per 89.89 percentile. So this is the band for quants. And those of you going for CAT 23 and further CATs also need to understand these bands. It's very important for you to know these bands so that you can define your targets. It's not necessary that you score 40 marks in every section, right? So this is the quants bands that you have. And in terms of the overall bands, so this is the 3 bands that you would have. और overall scores में मैं आता हूँ पहले. Before I get to the overall scores, let's have a look at the paper section wise. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open I've got the CAT 21 paper on a PDF with me, and along with that I have the verbal ability RC section of the same paper in term of the 22 paper with me. So what I'm going to do is do a RC by RC and a question by question analysis of your paper. So first things first, my personal view about the VRC of CAT 22 is, if you look at this paper, I'm just showing you this now, and if you look at the RC passage here, the first passage on the critical theory of technology, this passage is amongst the toughest. I think I've never encountered something as tough as this in the CAT, because two things. One is from 3-4 paragraph passages, they have moved to 5 paragraph passages here. So if you look at the first and the second passage here, stories concerning the undead, and stoicism was a more difficult read passage. All this thing, but if you look at this Chinese and concepts of a copy, this is the fourth passage. This is again a slightly longer passage than what you saw in the CAT 21 paper, and primarily this the difficulty level of this first RC was completely off the charts for somebody who has looked at the last year's papers. Because if I compare this RC to any of the 4 RCs of the last year, I do not see any RCs, not just last CAT 21, but CAT 20, CAT 19, CAT 18. I can go back to the last 3-4 years of CAT passages. I do not see anything which is close to, difficulty wise, which is close to this passage. In fact, this is one of the most difficult passages ever asked in CAT, because not only is the difficulty of the reading higher, but the concept, and there's a lot of reading between the lines here in this passage. But apart from that, even the questions, sometimes what happens a lot of times in the CAT and even in a mock test, you would have experienced that if the passage is difficult, the questions are normally easier, and if the questions are easier, or if the passage is easy to read, the questions are difficult. But in this case, in this question, the critical theory of technology question, said the passage was also tough to read, very tough to read, and the questions were also quite difficult. Right, so this is the first reason, and there's nothing comparable to this RC if you look at the CAT 21 paper. So I'm not showing you the CAT 21 paper here, but you can have a look at that, and you can compare slot 1 to slot 1 for no better reason. But if you look at slot 1 of CAT 21, there was a Mayan period philosophy passage, which was a three paragraph passage with normal questions. I mean, CAT में कभी बहुत easy questions तो नहीं रहते, लेकिन doable questions रहते हैं. And even the cuttlefish, there was a cuttlefish passage, cuttlefish and marshmallow passage last year, and that was also an easy read. Questions were slightly tougher. So I think maybe if I look at the undead passage, the second passage, stories concerning the undead. This is this is a good passage, which somebody who's strong can do this passage in around 8 minutes. But this is parallel to what the Mayan passage or the cuttlefish passage of last year would be. The third passage in the last year's exam was about traveling outside neighborhoods, utopia and dystopia पे passes था, utopian and dystopian philosophies पे, societies पे, and so I mean, typically the stoicism passage and the questions of these would be typically CAT standard. So out of the 4 passages, I would rate the third, fourth, and second, third, and fourth passage to be similar to what the CAT 21 passages were. But the first passage specifically, as I told you, it's one of the toughest. It's out of the charts completely. It's one of the toughest passages ever that have been asked in CAT. So this raises the difficulty level of the paper, and from there, if I if I go ahead and get back to the verbal ability part of this paper. So verbal ability meant they had removed the question type of they had removed the question type of odd man out, and instead of that they put that fill in the blank question type, which people thought was easy, but if you look at the solving experience of it, there are two very close positions for every question. So it's very possible that you can go wrong on all the three, or maybe one or two of those three questions that were asked and fill in the blanks. And of course, the surprise aspect was also there. So if I consider all these parameters and then take a guess ki if I'm comparing slot 1 of 21 versus slot 1 of 22, if I'm comparing these two, so I would think I would put it somewhere that the 22 slot 1 was a tougher exam than the 21 slot 1. And given the fact that if you talk to people and if you look at the analysis of other people, the slot 1 exam was tougher than slot 2. So there will be an upgrade in terms of the normalization of the marks. So I would think that if you are scoring a raw score of around 23 to 25, you might get a upgradation of around 3 to 4 marks. You might your normalization will push it up by 2 3 marks. So if your raw score is around 23 to 25, you will end up at the 90, 95, 91 percentile. I would estimate a 5-mark drop raw score wise from this score to this score, 3 to 5 mark drop. So in VRC, there will be a 3 to 5 mark drop overall. Now DILR, I can talk to you about without actually sharing the paper. But if you check the data interpretation logical reasoning of last year versus the data interpretation logical reasoning of this year, the key difference in the DILR section, was always that last year's paper there was one sitter questions, two doable questions, which were around 10 minutes long, and one 15-17 minute question. इस साल के पेपर में क्या किया इन्होंने, चारों क्वेश्चन 10 मिनट्स के ऊपर थे. So you had two sets which were, I mean, if you look at slot 1, if I describe the questions, what are questions in slot 1? I have got it here in front of me. So one was the token, the funding token questions. So funding token questions को अगर देखोगे तो this was a 10 to 12 minute set for somebody who's practiced well and is a good solver. So funding token was a 10 to 12 minute set. Then you had the train routes set. The train route set was also a 10 to 12 minute set. In fact, if you wanted to solve all the questions, the later questions were quite tedious. So it was actually a 12 to 15 minute set with the trade route set. The third set was the girls and boys and singers and dancers set. This was singers, dancers, girls, boys set. So this set, according to me, was a 15-minute set again. It was not a 8, 10, 12-minute set. And the last one was the goals set. And this was also a 10 to 11-minute set. For 8 matches and 12 goals, wala set. So this is also a 10 to 11-minute set. So if I compare this to the CAT 21 slot 1 paper, and I look at what the questions were, तो वहाँ पे CAT 21 में you had the set on friends, acquaintances, and strangers. This was the first set. This set was a 12 to 14 minute set. The friend acquaintances stranger set in CAT 21. Slot 1 was a 12 to 14 minute set. Then there was the bar chart set, bar chart based DI set in CAT 21, which was actually a 5 to 6 minute set. Well, I'm talking about the top solvers, right? So somebody who's good with most of DILR and is also very good at speed in terms of building your calculations, etc., and doing things fast. So this was a 10 to 12, 5 to 6 minute set, and then there was the mango smoothie, apple smoothie set. Which was a 10 to 12 minute set again. Maybe a 12 to 14 minute set. We can rate it as a 12 to 14 minute set. Mango smoothie, apple smoothie set, and we rate it as that. And the last set in last year was about journals and papers, research authors. That was a plain reasoning set. So that was the journals and research papers set. This was an 8 to 10 minute set. So if I compare, if you look at what I've written now on your chat, if I compare the DILR of last year to this year, you had two sets last year which were kind of blitz sets. There were two blitz sets: the bar chart DI set and the journal research paper set. Both were doable quickly. I mean, you could actually think of 15 to 17 minutes and you could be done with 8 questions. I don't remember, journal research paper में कितने questions थे? 6 questions थे शायद. Yeah, journal research paper had 6 questions. Right, so you could actually be done with around 10 questions, half the paper, in approximately 16-17 minutes, and you could actually, if you're a good solver, even the friend acquaintance stranger set, man, the difficulty level was not so high in terms of the usage of the clues. Already it was 12 to 14 minute set, but it was more of a lengthy set rather than a set in which there was a point at which you had to take care of a lot of things. But ये वाला जो सेट्स थे इसमें ट्रेन रूट जैसे बहुत टीडियस हो जाता है एक पॉइंट पे जाके. सिंगल ट्रांसफर गर्ल्स बॉयज वाला सेट है वो तो बहुत ही, यू मिस वन सिंगल point in the whole solving and your 2-3 answers will go wrong in that. And the goal set was also twisted. It's not you created a multiple possible situation before you finally solved it. So given these given these, I didn't get that, Govind. So given these perspectives, I would think that this year's DILR there will be maybe a 3 mark drop, 3 to 4 mark drop, maybe a 5 mark drop in the overall paper. In the same percentage. Of course, 60 percentile and all won't change. But what would happen, 90 percentile, if it is happening at 20 marks last year, it might happen around 17 marks, maybe 3 marks below that. So given this fact, there's a 3 to 5 mark drop in the DILR paper. Quants mein, I don't anticipate a drop much because quants mein, I'll solve the paper for you maybe tomorrow or day after in my next live sessions, and I'll be live every day now for the next few weeks, most of the days. जिस दिन नहीं होगा, जिस दिन live नहीं होगा, उस दिन post आएगा. Otherwise, I'll be live every day at around 5, somewhere between 5 to 6 in the evening, doing some solving or the other for you. So you will see that, given all this, you will see typically that the quants numbers will remain same. So in last year's paper, around 35-36 marks पे 99 percentile आया था in quants. and maybe around 30 to 33 marks in DILR, you had a 99 percentile. This year, I think 99 percentile will drop below 30 in DILR, definitely below 30. 5 marks will drop to hey. On the 99, I think 27 marks will be 99 percentile. And if you look at verbal, 46 marks we were 99 percentile last year. So 46, now there's a straight formula in the CAT, and that formula is if you score 99% in all the 3 sections, you'll get overall 99.5, 99.7 percentile, and that gets correlated with this 46 here, 32, 33 here, and 35, 36 here. So if you add all this, you're getting around 113, 114 marks overall if you get 99 percentile in each section. So if you're getting 99% in each section, you're getting 113, 114 marks in last year's paper. So this year, let me open a fresh sheet of paper, fresh whiteboard for you. So, as I said, 46, 32, and 36 would lead to 114, and that was 99.5. If you the simple formula in CAT is that if you can score 99 in each of the sections, you'll end up getting a 99.5 to 99.7 overall, and this bore the number there. So if my perspective is correct with respect to the difficulty level, I would think that this will go down by 3 to 5 marks. So around, 5 marks I think is a good guesstimate of how much it will drop down by at the 99 percentile, specifically because of that passage. And for a lot of people, that is the first passage in the exam, the critical theory of technology exam passage. And of course, the surprise of the new question type will also drop your scores. And if I consider a 4-mark drop in DILR, so it'll end up at 28 here. And if I think that cons will more or less remain the same, let's say 35 marks per year, so I'm predicting, if I look at this logic, 105 के आसपास हम लोग का 99 percentile, 99, all 3 are, which means there's a 9-mark drop overall, 8-9 mark drop overall in the 99.5 percentile value. And this drop will get matched across the board. So अगर last year का marks देखो मैं तो 108 overall 108 marks पे 99.56 आया था, 114 के आसपास में 99.7 आया होगा, 108 marks पे 99.56 था, 126 marks पे 99.92 था, और थोड़े नीचे परसेंटाइल्स पे आ जाऊँ, 97 marks पे 99 percentile था. I'm not talking about overall percentile. 97 marks पे we had 99 percentile, and 69 marks पे you had 94 percentile. So I'm just bringing out the most important numbers for all of you. 87 marks पे 98 percentile था. And what other numbers do you want? 54 marks pe you had 87 percentile. These are the numbers that are falling into place. Any other number you want me to check? 51 marks pe 85 percentile last year. So if you look at our numbers, you will see that actually, I would think that this 108 would drop down to around 100. So this 99 percentile, which is the critical point, I would predict an 8-mark drop, 7-8 mark drop on this. So I would not be surprised if the 99 percentile happens at 90 marks this year. Primarily because there's a downward spiral on verbal, a downward spiral on DILR because there are no sitter sets available. And chords, while the difficulty level is the same, after two very bad sections, if you come into a section which is the same difficulty and you get stuck in a couple of questions, you can actually horribly go wrong with your attempts. So there'll be a downward push or a downward pull of the score because of the quant section, also specifically because it came after two very rough sections. So 90 marks, I mean, I'm actually putting my neck out there, and I might be wrong, and this whole logic might go wrong a little bit here or there. बट बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली तो जब 2 लाख का एक्चुअल डेटा आता है तब का जो आउटकम आता है वो completely different रहता है. That's actually the outcome you can't dispute. But if I have to take a guess, I would say, just because I'm not comfortable putting my neck out to say कि 88 marks पे 99 percentile आ जाएगा, तो I would put it at around 90 to 92. To put a safety margin for myself, but I'll not be surprised if 88, 89 marks में 99 percentile आ जाएगा, sir. So that's my analysis of slot 1. I'll come back to you tomorrow sometime. As I said, I'm going to be live every day, trying to give a better commitment to myself on YouTube and this channel. So I'll be live tomorrow. Maybe I'll discuss some of the questions from the slot 1 paper, and if you want me to discuss, and slot 2, slot 3, I'm going to solve over the next 2-3 days. मैं solve नहीं किया because actually I don't solve it from the PDF because उसमें तो answers दिखता है. So I get it converted, I get it put into our test center, and then I solve it there to actually see what my scores are and how easy it is to score in that paper. So this is what my analysis is of the paper. Now I'm free to take any questions. Have they removed this? This is this clearly mentioned? Overall 39 marks, you can expect a 75 kind of percentile. 39 अगर थोड़ा सा तुम्हारा स्केलिंग अप हो गया तो 75 percentile आएगा सर. Slot 2, slot 3 updated response sheet में has this been confirmed? Is mentioned now? Okay. तो अगर ऐसा हुआ है तो then it is something which is unprecedented actually, if that has happened. 80-85 percentile range. Let me check. Last year का 80 percentile was 47 marks. 85% was 85 marks, 51 marks. So 47 to 51 was the band for 80 to 85, approximately. 46 to 50. And I would expect it to drop by around 5 marks there. Okay. Scaling comments, I think slot 1 will upscale, definitely. Right, 82 marks pe you can expect a 98 kind of percentile. Last year, 98 percentile, 87 marks pe aaya. 82 में 98 प्लस आने का चांसेस है. ठीक है. 63 मार्क्स रॉ स्कोर 63. अब स्केल होके अगर 70 होता है तो आई थिंक 95-96 परसेंटाइल आ सकता है उस पर. Slot 2 analysis, maybe day after tomorrow I'll do. I need some time to solve the paper. What I do is I'll solve the slot 2 of 21 and then solve the slot 2 of 22 and then check my scores and see where how difficult it was. So थोड़ा time लगता है मेरे को. I believe in giving high quality content. I don't believe in just coming and live and jabbering for the sake of jabbering. देखो पेपर डिफिकल्टी मैंने देखा नहीं है slot 2 को frankly, आयुष. So I cannot this thing, but if I'm talking about percentile, this exam is going down. So last year 61 marks पे 90 percentile. So this year you can expect a 90-93 percentile at 60 marks, आयुष. 2-3 percentile बढ़ेगा उसमें. 89 slot 1, I think you are in good space, Pranav. 99 percentile cross करना चाहिए तुम्हारा, or you will just about touch 99 percentile. And अगर ये हुआ है जो जो तुम लोग बता रहे हो, I have not checked the CAT website and I have not discussed with anybody who's confirmed this to me. This two questions removed from 2 questions, 2 sets or 2 questions? Arun, is it 2 sets removed or 2 questions removed? Was 2 sets removed अगर है तो बहुत unfair हो जाएगा for anybody who tried spend time solving those sets. If it is 2 questions removed, तब उतना फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. SIP in Pune is a good college, very strong alumni network. So if you get through 2 questions हटाए, okay, 2 questions each. Slot 2 में दो question हटाए कि 1 question हटाया है. 69 in slot 1 will be, I would think it would be around 95 percentile. Close to 95. थोड़ा सा scale up भी होगा तो 95 percentile के आसपास आएगा उसको. ठीक है. Verbal 8 marks. Even if you think of a scaling up and it takes you to 10, 11, that will be in the range of 60 percentile. So that's this thing. Okay, so 1 question has been removed from slot 1, slot 2 and 1 question from slot 3. तो उसका उतना फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. So 1 question or here and there, ऐसे भी बहुत लोग 5 question नहीं कर पाते हैं. So it's not going to be, maybe there'll be a scale up to those sections also. Will scaling happen at lower percentile in verbal? Maybe. ये स्केलिंग तो हर स्केलिंग पहले स्कोर पे होता है ना. स्केलिंग इज नॉट परसेंटाइल. Scaling on score. Scaling first is on score, whether the paper was difficult. So what they do is they put the normal curve and then they try to see where's the mean. So if one slot had a mean at 80, let's say one slot had a mean at 40 marks and another slot had a mean at 35 marks, that means the second slot, the other slot was more difficult. Mean and standard deviations you look at. And and that, as I said, that whole information will only come, or that whole idea will only come into the picture when you have the full data with you. Other than that, you're just guesstimating. And I do not want to do any guesstimates of percentiles without actually solving the paper, since I took a decision not to take CAT this year. So I did not have the solving experience on D-Day, which is why I said, चलो आराम से करते हैं इसको. ठीक है, slot 2 का एनालिसिस मैं करूंगा परसों, day after tomorrow. कल मैं solve करता हूँ उसको, and day after tomorrow I'll do the analysis. 49 slot 2 will be in the range of around 86-87 percentile. Slot 1 में मैंने slot 2 slot 3 देखा नहीं है. Slot 2 slot 3 was more difficult than slot 1, then maybe there's a negative scaling on that. But slot 1 में scaling, I think verbal का scaling तो ऊपर जाना चाहिए. ठीक है. See, scaling does not happen from previous year to this year. Scaling happens across these 3 slots of this year. So actual scaling तो मैं तुम लोगों को slot 2 slot 3 को solve करने के बाद ही बताऊंगा. Gitesh, 106 पे you will get a great percentile. You can get a 99.5. You can expect a 99.5 plus. GDBI के लिए I'm taking a session this week. Friday को webinar है मेरा. It's a free webinar. You can join in for that, and I'll give you my perspective on that separately, and we'll upload the webinar on the YouTube channel also. ठीक है, चलो. So I'll wind up then. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for keeping the faith for the channel. I sometimes become slightly inconsistent with it, but that's what I said. I'll make a commitment to come in live at least once a day, sometime, mostly between 5 to 6. That's what I'll do, so that you guys can also expect it, and we'll put it up on the notice board on the channel. Thanks everybody. 57 slot 1 will be around 90 percentile, 91 percentile के आसपास आएगा. Slot 164 will be 93-94 percentile approximately. ठीक है, चलो. Thanks everybody. Bye bye. Thanks for keeping the faith. Do keep the faith. I'll be there for you guys. Bye bye. See you.